I think I just got that PTSD of every game being a Souls-like. Funny enough, now we have the control schemes is very similar to a Souls game. I'm just saying, R1, R2, R1 for light attack, R2 for heavy. Come on now. Come on now.
Briefly show a sign when a counterattack can be utilized, but unless you have trained your reflex skills by playing games of the likes of Sekiro and reacting.
Come on. Come on. Am I crazy? He just said it too. He just said it.
I feel like a hack comparing it to Dark Souls, but the main boss fight in my demo was...
I'm not like losing it. I'm telling you. There has been more Silent Hill F previews coming out from these media outlets such as IGN. Apparently GamesRadar has more gameplay, but for today we're just going to be reacting and checking out IGN's preview coverage. And apparently this game is dropping on the 25th of September. I had no idea that it was coming out very, very soon. I was like, damn, man. We're kind of stacked because, personally for me, I want to play Borderlands 4. But I also want to play this game because this is a very important game just because we haven't had a actual brand new Silent Hill game released since the 2000s, coming from Konami themselves. Well, technically, you know, we haven't had a Silent Hill game made from the East in a very long time, but I think it's also the fact that we technically did had releases from Konami made by Western teams, I think throughout the 2010s or early 2010s or late 2000s. But yeah, man, we haven't had like an actual first party team create a Silent Hill game since the 2000s, and I'm kind of bummed out about that. Like, I thought this game was made by the first party team within Konami, but instead they just gave it over to a completely different team that I never really heard of. But regardless, as long as they make a fresh new game that is Silent Hill and it has the Silent Hill traits that people enjoy, I have no problem about that. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, this is the preview. Shout out to IGN.
From story to world building,
I
from
like
graphics
to
to
look at
combat
that
and exploration,
lantern.
Taiwan-based developer Neobards has created an experience
Oh,
that
it's a
meets the high
Taiwan team. Okay.
bar set by the Polish developer, albeit a remote town in the mountains of rural Japan in the 60s is. With an immersive over-the-shoulder view and no UI on screen during exploration, Silent Hill F is a game that tells a convincing story through its visuals. Ebisugaoka is undoubtedly one of the most impressive contemporary Japanese townscapes I've ever seen in a video game. And that comes from someone who has lived in Japan for the majority of his life and loves games like Shenmue, Persona, and Ghostwire Tokyo, exploring Ebisugaoka, which oozes with atmosphere. Files and other documents scattered throughout the town.
It does look nice, right? I wonder what's their HP bar here. You see this? Is this just purely for design, or is this an actual gauge? And then I assume, obviously, red is health bar. This is stamina? But she's running, though. She wasn't losing any stamina, if that is a stamina gauge.
As you examine scarecrows in order to learn the direction you should be heading, which is connected to a childhood trauma of Hinako.
What does it say? Why do you always have to be different than everyone else? Freak.
Heading, which is connected to a childhood trauma of Hinako getting
I was
lost
like,
and
wait,
being
what am I
afraid of the
reading?
scarecrows. Make the solution too obvious, while still giving the player an idea of what they have to do. Silent Hill F has difficulty settings for both its combat and
I would have, see? They spoiled that jump scare. I would have low-key freaked out about that.
While Konami advised me to play on story mode for both, I stubbornly chose normal mode as I wanted to take on a challenge. While the difficulty of the puzzles never overwhelmed me, combat proved to be a bit more demanding. Silent Hill F's combat relied...
Okay. I mean, you know, I actually really need to go ahead and play the OG Silent Hill games, because how were the actual puzzles for you guys, if you guys played the games back in the day? Were they actually as hard? If you play it on normal, is it as crazy? I heard that when you put up the difficulty, the puzzles in the OG Silent Hill games, like especially on 2, they're even crazier to do, which I was like, when I heard about that, I'm like, no thank you. If we're ever gonna play the OG games, I'll just play on normal or easy. I don't mind. I just want to experience the game. But that's interesting. So if the combat is more like tuned up for difficulty, right? How much depth the combat will be for Silent Hill? Because when I think about survival horror, I think about with a blend of action into it. But the thing is, in survival horrors, combat is used as a tool. So when you have a game like this, saying that the combat is a little bit overwhelming when you tune up or when you put up the difficulty, that means there has to be some depth to it, right? Or they're just gonna be like sponge characters where they just take up a lot of damage. I don't want to deal with sponge enemies, to be honest with you.
If the puzzles never overwhelmed me, combat proved to be a bit more demanding. Silent Hill F's combat relies entirely on melee attacks. Hinako can obtain all sorts of weapons ranging from iron pipes to kitchen knives and baseball bats, but no guns come into play. With some exceptions, these weapons are not
It's cooked.
through story
There's no guns. I'm just playing.
beats, but are scattered throughout Silent Hill F's world like other resources, and Hinako can carry up to 3 weapons at a time. As you wield iron pipes and stab at enemies with knives, you will notice that the game has weapon durability. It is a nice touch that weapons that are about to break actually change in appearance.
So that's like the little yellow bar. That's the weapon durability.
Expect to be holding a bent pipe or a broken bat. This also functions as a hint to the player.
Interesting. So yeah, again, if there's weapon durability, that means there's just gonna be more weapons that you're gonna be collecting.
Which Hinako will acknowledge by mentioning that she should fix it. Weapons can be
But this
fixed
is
by
purely
using a repair kit, but
a
these are so
melee
scarce
type
that on many
gameplay
occasions
or
you'll have
a
to say
game.
goodbye to your new favorite weapon. While weapon durability is often regarded as a burden in games, it works here, as finding a
I think what was it? I think Silent Hill 4 really utilized a lot of melee weapons over range combat, so I think it's very similar to this game.
new weapon and repair kits
I
quickly
think.
becomes an integral part of the resource management that the survival horror genre is known for, especially since you won't be having to look for ammo this time around.
Yeah,
The
that's
clever system
that's
allows
interesting.
you to turn in your resources for an in-game currency at save points, which can be used to increase your stats or obtain new amulets that can be equipped to give you certain buffs.
So
That
there's
means
like
that if you are careful,
so there's gear. Let's rewind that. Sorry, I keep rewinding it. So yeah, it's interesting. He said that while weapon durability is often regarded as a burn in games, it's not really as that in here, or the weapons kind of replace that.
it works here, as finding a new weapon and repair kits quickly becomes an integral part of the resource management
Yeah, I
of the
see.
survival horror genre, which can be used to increase your stats or obtain new amulets that can be equipped
That's
to give you certain
interesting,
buffs.
like actual
That
gear
means that if you are careful and don't waste your resources, leftovers can be turned into
and stats in a survival horror. Like if there would be stats in any survival horror game I would be playing, it would involve the weapon. So stats, like what sort of stats we talking about? Like damage or with the weapons? I assume that, but what else?
give you certain buffs. That means that if you are careful and don't waste your resources, leftovers can be turned into something useful, which feels like a great reward to a well-planned expedition.
Okay.
Combat itself has a similar feel to
Dude,
Silent
it's so
Hill 2's
chunky with
close-range combat.
the
You can
impact.
dodge enemy attacks with the dual
I was kind of worried about that, the impact, because I saw a lot of the melee combat in the previous trailers, and I was feeling iffy about that, just because I was like, I don't know, I got kind of fatigued throughout the Silent Hill 2 remake. I don't know, I just wasn't really buying it, so when I saw something very similar with that, for this game, I was like, oh, I don't know. I just hope the melee combat's good. And ironically, it is. It seems that it looks fun. You're just whacking enemies away. Hey, yo,
dodge
not like
enemy
that, though.
attacks with the dual sensor circle button, while you can activate light and heavy attacks with R1 and R2 respectively. Your limited reach.
It's like okay, really? Okay, I know people were getting on me about, well, at least one of the comments were getting on me in the last reaction when we were looking into Lost Souls Aside because of how I said, oh, it's a Souls game because of the camera. I mean, I don't know why I thought about that, to be honest with you, but I think I just got that PTSD of every game being a Souls-like. Funny enough, now we have the control schemes is very similar to a Souls game. I'm just saying, R1, R2, R1 for light attack, R2 for heavy. Come on now.
attack motions give a realistic.
I mean,
weighted
even I know I'm seeing the target again. I'm the target reticle, but come on now. It even has the lock on in a survival horror. The Souls influence within this generation has been insane. I've been playing video games for a long time already. The fact that I'm seeing stuff like this that is like coming from Software to inspirations. I know I look crazy in this video, but come on. I mean, it's very light.
Combat.
Take it with a grain
You
of
can
salt,
dodge
right?
enemy attacks with the dual sensitive
But still.
button, while you can activate light and heavy attacks
And then you
with
have a
R1
dodge.
and R2 respectively. Your limited reach and lengthy
Oh,
attack
so-
motions give a realistic.
See, I'm gonna look so like horrible in this video. I was about to say this, but we got a Souls-like horror. I'm sorry.
Weighty feel to combat.
Silent Hill is
Heavy
becoming a
attacks
Souls-like
especially
now.
are slow and need to be timed well, contributing to the feeling that Hinako
I know
is
people are
just
gonna be
a
so mad
teenager
at me
with
saying
limited
that.
strength. What sets Silent Hill F's combat apart from Silent Hill 2's more limited melee combat is the implementation of timed dodges and counterattacks. The
Okay.
latter in particular deals a lot of damage and is key in battle. Enemies briefly show a sign when a counterattack can be utilized, but unless you have trained your reflex skills by playing games of the likes of Sekiro, you will likely have a hard time reacting.
Come on. Come on. Am I crazy? He just said it too. He just said it too.
That's where the
He mentioned Sekiro.
focus mode comes in, which can be triggered by holding L2. Sadly, we don't have any footage of it, but when in focus mode, enemy signs for counterattacks appear for longer, while also charging up a power attack that staggers.
They have focus mode like Monster Hunter Wilds? Oh. Hold on, wait. Silent Hill? Wait, is Silent Hill actually cooking with his combat? I don't know. It actually has mechanics.
That means you might head into focus mode with the intention of going for a counterattack, but find yourself switching to a power attack when it charges before the enemy shows an opening. Focus mode is tied to Hinako's mental energy gauge, which exists separately from her stamina and health bar. Interestingly, the upper limit of her mental energy decreases when enemies do something that scares her, or when she is frightened by a certain event, connecting the gameplay to the story and Hinako's mental state. Luckily, there are
Wait, there's a her mental state? So I guess, is this the yellow bar that she's talking about? Or what he's talking about? I think I actually like that.
Goes too. When she runs out of stamina and mental energy, she can become so frightened and tired that she won't even be able to move for a while. Managing her energy
Interesting, okay.
resources, therefore, is key to survival. Fighting
I
one
like
regular
that.
enemy is fairly manageable, but when confronted by multiple enemies, running away often felt like the best option, especially since enemies don't give experience points or drop resources.
Yeah, that's like a survival horror in a way. That makes sense.
Combat was fun enough that I found myself actively engaging in combat even if there wasn't a real benefit to it, beyond being able to explore the environment more freely.
I wish, if they have like some depth to its combat, probably it'll get tiring. I think that's going to be a con in the future, right? That's going to be an actual criticism where the gameplay loop will be very repetitive since there's not a lot of weapon variety in a way, because they took out guns, so it's purely about melee combat. So you're just going to be swinging around your weapon for the entire game for I don't know how long. And let's say if it's probably 10 hours, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. But there should be some rewards when you defeat these bosses, right? There should be.
While keeping combat
Maybe
engaging and complex,
there's going to be like rewards. It has to be.
Hill F does a great job.
Because why would you create bosses like this or like sub-bosses just to not get anything out of it? I feel like just reward the player for actually engaging with your combat.
When making the player feel weak. The game cleverly incorporates this by having what seems to be a boss battle at first actually play out as a sequence in which the player has to find an escape route. Another
Okay.
iconic element to the
Yeah,
series
see,
is
that's
the
the thing.
existence
It's like,
of ultimate-
I get it, right? They create these monsters or these enemies for the fear factor, but to me, especially like when you're conditioning the player to always fight back with these certain weapons, come on. Reward me for it. Reward me. Come on.
world,
You're
which is
adding
present
you're
in
adding
Silent
like
Hill F as well.
I don't want to push it. But you're low key making this game look like low key like a Souls game in a way. I'm just saying, in a horror Souls game, and that's something I actually been begging from software to actually make, like to go full on horror. So I think Silent Hill F will actually give me
Hinako
that
is
itch.
occasionally transported to a different dimension that shows a more traditional.
Look, she has a whole spear
more
on her.
mysterious masked figure guides her through the grounds of various shrines. Here,
Like,
Hinako
come on
obtains
now.
traditional
She
Japanese
has a whole
weapons
spear.
such as the naginata, a pole weapon with a curved blade on the end, similar to a glaive or halberd that is known to be mostly used by women. Weapons that Hinako finds in this alternate world don't break, but Hinako won't be able to carry them over to Ebisugaoka.
No, that gotta be a post game. That gotta be like an end game or a new game plus weapon. All right, time to parry.
Mechanics and systems.
Time to parry. Add the parry
Hard to
system.
predict attack patterns and multiple stages required significant trial and error. The boss took me nearly an hour to beat, but gradually learning how to take on the boss was a welcome challenge that never felt unfair. For reference, my colleague was playing on story mode and defeated the boss on his second try, but an acquaintance from another media outlet who was also playing on story mode didn't manage to defeat the boss at all and ran out of time.
That's
While he
crazy.
didn't specifically mention the Souls-like
Come on,
genre,
guys.
series producer Motoi Okamoto says that Silent Hill F's combat was inspired by the current popularity of more difficult action games.
There you go. There you go. I'm not crazy. For those who are saying that I'm crazy for saying all these references, I'm not. Even, who was it? The producer? Yeah, the series producer said he got inspired by action games. There you go.
Inspired by the current popularity
There you go.
difficult action games. With multiple difficulty settings, Silent Hill F is by
Oh
no
my!
means
I'm
accessible,
actually
but
more excited. Just seeing this preview, I'm actually excited for a Silent Hill F
it's
game.
The last part of my demo took place inside a school, which was essentially a dungeon similar to Silent Hill 2's aforementioned apartment buildings, hospitals, museums, and hotels. Upon entering the school, Hinako obtains a map of the building, which the player will have to use to navigate their way through. Luckily, Hinako is just as diligent a note-taking enthusiast as Silent Hill 2's James, so whenever you learn that a door is locked or that there is a passage somewhere, it will be noted for you on the map. Inside the school, I had to solve a multitude of puzzles in order to find keys to reach different classrooms and floors while fighting and running away from enemies along the way.
I see. The very traditional survival horror
According to Okamoto,
level design.
the average playtime for Silent Hill F will be about 12 or 13 hours.
Okay,
Should
that's not
indicate that
bad.
the
That's not
player
bad.
roughly balance between town exploration and interior facilities feels like an improvement over the Silent Hill 2 remake. While the first 5 hours of the game felt like they were structured linearly, Silent Hill F has multiple endings, like many other games in the series, including
Nice.
the famous UFO.
That's actually good.
My time with Silent
And
Hill
they even
F
have a
was
UFO
promising,
ending
to
well.
say the least.
I feel like this is gonna be a sleeper hit when it releases.
For more scary stuff,
Because
keep it
no
up.
one, if I feel like no one's gonna watch this coverage, right? And once they actually get their game in their hands, you're gonna be like, they're gonna be so surprised how this is low key a Souls-like. That's a bit of a stretch. It's not really, but the fact that it has combat mechanics and wants you to engage in the combat like that, kinda. I think people are gonna be surprised about that for the survival horror genre. Or for a Silent Hill game. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of crazy. I thought I was going crazy, like calling out like, oh, this game in Loki has like some Souls traits in it. Not necessarily. I don't want to stretch it to where it's like, oh yeah, it's a Souls-like. This is a game where I actually am looking forward to it because I always wanted to have a Souls game that really focuses on horror, where they put the horror like up there. And I hope this game kind of has that itch for that. From what I've been seeing, I haven't really seen that horror factor, but it has the creepiness of Silent Hill, so I don't mind about that. Maybe my tolerance has been like, it's been up there for horror games, but overall, I think this is gonna be like a fun game. So guys, this is a video from GamesRadar. Now that I'm more interested in the gameplay, I just want to see more of it, and let's see if they actually have different gameplay and different commentary that they all experience. If not, then I'll just probably cut it out to see, just so that you guys won't go through all this. GamesRadar, why are we recording on 1080p? What's going on here?
Attack 1, 2, 3, 4, then they glow with a chromatic aura, meaning I can hit them with a heavy attack to counter, opening them up to massive damage.
I see.
For the most part,
I feel like they shouldn't give that away. If your combat is very focused on just melee itself, let the player learn.
Silent Hill
Don't give them a signal. Just let them learn like that.
F is, but it can be evocative, effective in bursts of
The
clunky
way that he's just
violence.
hopping towards
The
you.
best Silent Hill F may have the most well-crafted combat system in the series to date. But in doing so, dodges, counterattacks, and special focus moves give Silent Hill F more combat systems than any other.
See, that might be a problem. Because I remember when they were first introducing the Silent Hill 2 remake in their promotions and previews, people disliked how there was, it looked like RE2 to them or RE4 when they saw James with a pistol and just shooting a lot of the enemies. So I don't know how like the hardcore Silent Hill fans are gonna feel about this, but personally to me, I don't mind it because this is a genre like I've been itching for. I want a game that actually does focus on combat, but at the same time, I want the horror factor to still be there. I want them to really rise it up. So I mean, I did notice in the last preview that just seeing all this combat, right? I didn't have that horror factor or that I didn't feel it. But then again, we have to also note that Silent Hill is also about its like sound design and its atmosphere. So maybe it's gonna be different when we all personally play it on our systems. But we gotta wear a headset and everything for this game.
The build I play, it can end up feeling a bit over-engineered. I feel like a hack comparing it to Dark Souls, but the main boss fight in my demo was...
See, I'm not like losing it. I'm telling you.
A dodge-heavy affair on a big bridge that had me finding gaps in lengthy attack animations to dish out some cautious...
Like, just add the parry. Just add the parry. Do it. Please. I'm begging you. Just do it. If you're gonna have a DLC expansion, add the parry. Why not? Embrace it. Just embrace it. I mean, come on. Like, this is like a Soulsborne type enemy right here. Come on.
It's not bad.
And then apparently you don't get any rewards from these enemies.
Per se. Call it Fog Souls and maybe we're cooking.
Fog Souls.
Even highlights that.
That's a good one. Fog Souls. I'm dead.
Posture is a tinged affairs.
What is this? What is that? That's new. That is new. Let's read that.
Had me searching for
Let's read this.
Small picture tablet.
To extol the event of our clan, we bestow upon the sacred land the name Heaven's Benediction. Send forth to the sky a crane, to the earth a serpent, to the spring a tortoise. Pray for prosperity of our clan. I feel like that's like a hint for the overworld or the level. A little puzzle there.
Japanese shrines.
An answer to a puzzle.
Being pursued by a sound-detecting enemy.
See, that looks actually creepy. Like, what the hell is this?
Though Hinako can bust its head open with a pipe, will always regenerate after enough.
Who knew Silent Hill? Let's be real. Who knew Silent Hill will end up like this? I know it's not made by the actual teams, because the teams probably left a long time ago. I don't know like the history of these teams, and I don't know if they're still within that company. I assume that they all just left. They dipped. Because it has been over 20 years already. Who would have thought, like, if you were to time travel and tell yourself, hey, did you know Silent Hill will become, like, sort of an action game or a Souls game? And people would be like, wait, what the hell's a Souls game? You'll find out. You'll find out in 20 years when you play Elden Ring or Demon Souls in, like, within the next, like, 8 years. Who would have known, bro?
Time has passed.
Yeah, this is gonna get mixed reviews. As much as I am personally hyped for it, this is gonna get mixed reviews.
Fighting, even perfect combat play won't solve a lot of encounters without using your noggin too.
That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so it seems that there's not gonna be inventory management, which was always a big thing in survival horror games. Yeah, man. The more that I see it, as much as I know I'm gonna enjoy it, I am not confident that the game will please a lot of people, especially for those who are looking into a new Silent Hill game. The hardcore fans, they're going to be like, what the hell is this? I have a feeling. I'm going to be reading the comments from the IGN video and also this, so we're going to check that out. Yeah. So, it kind of slowly takes away some certain traits, but at the same time, it's still there. It's still intact. It has the characteristics of it.
Yamaoka has created a gorgeous soundscape for it.
Look at the map. I like the design of the map. Oh, it looks really nice, and it still has the Silent Hill markings on it. It has that Silent Hill design to it.
Grow Up are what Silent Hill F.
Oh my god! What the hell? Oh my god! She got bodied. Poor Hinako, bro. Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. I'm like quiet, just like being engaged with her commentary, right? Of this journalist's commentary. And then you just see her got bodied in the video like that. That came out of nowhere. See? I should not even watch this just so I wouldn't like be spoiled in my future
As
playthrough.
societal pressures for Hinako
Look at
to
this.
grow up are what Silent Hill F will be all
Damn.
about. I may be wobbly on the combat, feeling a bit overbaked, but there's still time before launch for this to be tweaked, and
honestly, if a game is designed in mind already, and they pretty much finished up this game, because it's being released by the 25th of September, this is the final product. If they decide to tweak it and not make the combat as enjoyable, that will be a big issue to the game. So they might as well just embrace their design at that point, because that will cause issues. Again, we haven't personally played it. She has played it, not me, not anyone else that is not connected to this industry. From what I've just personally experienced from previous games that don't stick to their design and don't bother to embrace it just because it feels iffy to certain people, it does hurt the game. And whether or not people like it or not, of how it's very action focused, I feel like it's just time to let the series breathe a little bit. You could still manage to blend in action and survival horror still. Resident Evil has been doing it forever already. And I'm not even talking about like the action trilogy of RE4 to RE6. I'm talking about the other Resident Evil games. So Silent Hill could do it as well. They literally can. And it's just the manage of how it will be executed. Of course, it is a hard mission to create a horror game and add action to it where you feel like you feel like there is some sort of power fantasy to it, but two can coexist. And personally, when it comes to me, I'm always open to play different games whether or not I feel iffy about it. So we just gotta let it cook,
to be honest,
let it marinate, let it do all that sort of stuff, so we could actually see how it is.
much of it can be dealt with in the usual Silent Hill way of bashing and hoping for the best. But when it comes to vibes and atmosphere, Silent Hill F is luxurious.
Oh, there you go. She said it. I even said it in the previous video that we reacted to. It does have the that creep factor that I was talking about, so that's great.
I can't
that's
wait
great to hear.
wait.
Okay, so the comment is, I don't know why people are so afraid of change. This looks very good. Okay. There's some positivity there. What's with all the sour puss in the comments? This looks great, and I, for one, extremely happy with the recent Silent Hill revival. SH2 remake was amazing. I can't wait to try this one out. The dodge animations could benefit from appearing, but not actually being a little bit more clumsy and desperate. Hinako looks like a hunter from Bloodborne moving around like that. I realize what's bugging me about these preview monsters don't react to being hit. That's what I was talking about. That was like one of the issues also from the Silent Hill 2 remake. They don't flinch, they don't sway, nothing. Just a quick bloody cloud, and even that isn't happening every hit. Super weird to see the absence of hit reactions in modern game. See, I'm not crazy. That is always my biggest critique when I play an action game, is that there is no reaction. A reaction of an animation when an enemy or an opponent gets hit, especially one that requires immersion. Oh my goodness. It just seems that people are already having mixed reactions, right? I mean, look, someone said Silent Hill Souls like nice. See, I mean, to be honest with you, I am very critical about how modern games are being way too inspired by the Souls genre, when Miyazaki himself, you know, the creator of the Souls series, made these games for his philosophy and his design. And the problem with games being inherited of, or like getting traits from Souls games, is that it hinders their creativity because they're putting someone's ideas into theirs. They're not making it because it fits well for their game, they're making it because it's trendy, and I don't personally like that. Just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Like for Stellar Blade, I felt like this game could have been a character action game, and a lot of character action games are still different from one another because they are made in mind for that developer's team's design. And I felt like Stellar Blade could have been an even better game when you have the freedom to do more combat in the game. Clearly, because that character as well has a lot of cutscenes and crazy story where she's able to do these crazy stunts. So I was like, how come we can't do that in the gameplay and we're kind of stuck to the grounded Souls level combat? But someone here says, shut up criticizing the combat already and giving PS2 games as examples. Guys, it was 20 years ago. It won't work now. They have modernized it, and there are only two directions they can go for examples of modern games with working close combat. The DMC-like action games and Souls-like games, of course, they will go Souls-like. Souls-like combat, great with horror genre. I rarely felt as frightened as I am in Dark Souls games, much more in many horror games. See, I was making that parallel as well. I want a From Software game that puts up the horror because I forgot to mention this, that because it could fit the vibe. I kind of played a little bit of Bloodborne, but just playing like the other Souls games, From Software could do that, to be honest. So that's what I'm saying. Silent Hill F could hit that itch for me. For the ones that suck at Souls combat, well, there is a story mode with much easier combat, so stop complaining. It sounds perfect on paper. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see by launch, to be honest with you. Oh, here we go. I have no idea what to think of this game. I am a diehard Silent Hill fan, though. I would probably still be looking forward to this game, maybe even more so if it was just a standalone horror game set in 1960s Japan. But playing any game with Silent Hill in the title is an event for me, so I can't help but be stoked. So this game doesn't look scary at all. It looks cool, but sure, but I wouldn't even consider a Silent Hill game. I don't know, man. Yeah, so I had a feeling there was gonna be mixed reactions about this regardless. That's the thing, you have to let these series breathe as well. The way that people are feeling right now, it is completely valid of how they're feeling, because the Silent Hill titles, we haven't seen the Silent Hill games made by the first party teams since the early 2000s, and then we saw them made by the Western teams, and apparently people did not like them back then. So that's why you have to let these games breathe. What I'm basically just trying to say is trust the process. You never know if you're gonna like it or not. We still have horror games, right? Survival horror games like Resident Evil that made like the RE2 remake, which I think is like one of the perfect modern survival horrors to play within this generation, just because, well, would I say within this generation or last generation, right? So it's still possible for, Silent Hill to still be engaging with action and also have the blend of the horror factors. I want to look at the IGN comments, because those comments can even get more toxic because it's IGN. Glad to see the Silent Hill series making a comeback. Weapon durability maybe go but then you mentioned that had no guns, meant no ammo management, so it makes sense. Perfect sense. Anyways, the game looks great. Among the Japanese abandoned town streets, easily immersed. Every corner sound chill. Nice. I'm so excited about this game. So far, it's been like positive. Konami telling journalists to play the game on story mode difficulty is hilarious. This looks good. Can't wait to play it next month. This is definitely the most anticipated game for the rest of the year. Hopefully, it delivers. Everything looks good, but combat is a bit weird. Hope they fix that before release. I don't know what he means by a bit weird. Probably like from what we saw from the previous comment about how they said how there's like no animation reaction from the enemy. We want a demo. Yes, I do want to try out the combat. 100%. Oh, here we go. I think this is a nice criticism to read when comparing the combat to Silent Hill 2 remake by Bloober. I think the SH2 remakes combat with the melee weapon, you could feel the weight of that pipe by the swing animation itself, including the sound design. But in Silent Hill F, I think the animation is a bit too fast and weird, wonky hit stop, and the enemy itself looks almost unresponsive in some hits. Overall, this makes the combat look weird to me. I'm okay with gunplay in Silent Hill 2, which I also did enjoy. I talked about that in the Chronos gameplay that we were reacting to previously. But for the melee combat, I pretty like it because you could feel the brutality in every pipe swing by James. But for Silent Hill, I think I have to try it by myself to make sure I like it or not. To be honest with you, I felt like the melee combat wasn't there for me in Silent Hill 2 remake. You were attached, the enemy was like a magnet to your weapon. Every time you would swing, you would just like kind of lunge towards the enemy, and sometimes the enemy wouldn't react. And that's also because it really depends, right? If the enemy's in animation about to swing at you, then it wouldn't react. But then when it's clearly open for you to swing at them, they would sort of, but I still felt like I was hitting a brick wall in a way, if that makes sense, or like a concrete punching bag. It's funny how she's just a teenager, but she has a superhero dash when dodging. So mixed about it right now personally. While it was excellent, or it has an excellent feel and look overall, the other details like combat upgrades, Souls-like bosses have me worried about the overall experience. Silent Hill is never supposed to be a hectic action game. Again, that's a valid opinion. Bro almost called it a Souls-like because you have to learn bosses in every game in existence. I mean, literally, I guess he didn't watch the whole video, but clearly the producer literally said that they were inspired by the current action games that are trending right now. Souls-like bosses, wearing items to upgrade stats, give me a uh-oh feeling. Is this supposed to be Silent Hill? We shall see. Again, I feel like the opinions that people are feeling right now, it's so far everything has been valid. On the other end, right? People are like, dude, it's not the Souls-like that we know from 20 years ago. But then at the other side of things, there's people out there saying, yeah, exactly, that was 20 years ago. We're in the new age of gaming. There's ways to implement different things. It doesn't have to be exact same thing. So great job on these journalists, by the way. They did give a lot of like great info within 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. So shout out to, what was his name? It just showed up. So shout out to Esra Crabe. Sorry to pronounce your last name wrong. For GamesRadar, shout out to both of these journalists. Preview by Oscar and then video by Maddie, so shout out to them. This was a great coverage. I actually enjoyed seeing all this. It gave me a whole new insight. By the way, watch both of these coverages. They do give different takes, so I highly suggest you guys check it out. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Personally, I'm actually kind of excited now more than ever, because before I was like, you know, it's Silent Hill. Like, I'm only excited the fact that it's a new Silent Hill game, but anything else is just like, you know. But after seeing all the gameplay, I'm like, okay, I might have to lock in for this. We might go for platinum too. We might go for all the endings if this comes out and it's actually feels nice. We'll see. That's gonna be the biggest thing once this game drops, is how the game will run, how it will feel, how's the feelings coming from the community, from everybody playing the game. So we'll see. But alright, y'all, remember, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. Any support to the channel is very much appreciated. We'll be covering Silent Hill F eventually. I do want to cover this. This is on my priority list, so new Silent Hill game. Let's get it.